Om Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Sri Dakshinamurti Sute Shikendram Dvaipayanam Sutrakratam Munindram Sri Shankaram Bhashyakritam Yetindram Madheshi Kanchapi Namami Vityai Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsarishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahita Pragyana Ganaha Pratyagarto Brahmaivahamasmi Om Prapannaparijataya Totravetraikapanaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Mritaduhe Namaha. Pranams everyone. We are in the third chapter, Sloka number 18. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Naiva tasya krite nartaha na krite neha kaschana nachasya sarva bhuteshu kaschid artha vyapashrayah. So in Sloka 17 and 18, Bhagavan is actually giving the Lakshana of a Jnani. And in Sloka number 17, we saw three Lakshanas of a Jnani. We saw Atmaratihi, Atmatriptaha, Atmasantushtaha. Atmarati means he is contented with himself, whatever he is, he is contented with himself. Atmatriptaha means he is contented with all the things and people that he are dealing in. He doesn't have any problems with anybody. Then Atma Santushtaha means he feels fulfilled. There is no craving for him to do upon anything. So tasya karyam na vidyate. He does not have any compulsions. He does not have any responsibilities. That was what Bhagavan had mentioned in Sloka number 17. Now in Sloka number 18, Naiva tasya krite nartaha na krite neha kaschana. Na eva tasya krite na artaha. We saw that the Jnani has nothing to gain through action. There is nothing for him to gain through any of the activities that he performs. Na akritena kaschana. He has got nothing to gain due to not doing activities also. So there is nothing that he will gain by doing. There is nothing that he will gain by not doing also. Nachasya sarva bhuteshu kaschid artha vyapashraya. Towards any beings, he does not have any dependence. Kaschid artha vyapashraya. We saw ashraya means dependence. Kaschid artha, for no purpose. He does not have any dependence on anybody. So we saw that he does not have dependence even on Bhagavan. Even on Ishvara, he doesn't have any dependence. So we saw how we should be progressing is, we should be progressing from world dependence to Ishvara dependence, and from Ishvara dependence to self-dependence. As long as we are dependent on the world to provide us happiness, or we think that the world is providing us the sorrow. When we say world, it could be people, situation, objects, whatever. As long as we think that the world is providing us the happiness or sorrow, then we are in samsara. Then we take it as Ishvara dependence. Ishvara dependence, when we are having Ishvara dependence, then it's bhakti. So we say, Ishvara, whatever you are giving me, I take it as your prasada. Then it is bhakti. Then finally when we get the jnanam, then we don't need to depend on anything. We need to depend only on the self. So the progress in spirituality is from samsara to bhakti, from bhakti to jnanam. So here for a jnani, he has nothing to gain through actions, nothing to gain due to inaction also. So we always depend on things. We always have this habit of depending on people, on relations for all our happiness. Whereas a jnani does not have. But then Bhagavan says here, he has got nothing to gain out by doing an action. Just by doing an action, he does not have anything to gain. Now, how do we understand this? What does he need to do? I mean, does he not need to do? Anybody we thought would need to perform actions, because in the same chapter, Bhagavan he said, in Sloka number 5, Nahi kaschat shanamapi jatu tishtyatya karma krit karyate havashak karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. There Bhagavan had said, everyone is helplessly made to do action by the gunas born out of prakriti. Now here Bhagavan says, the jnani has nothing to gain by doing any action. How do we understand this? We understand this, that entire life of a jnani, he takes it to be Prarabda-driven. Everything is Prarabda-adhinam. He accepts whatever the life gives him as Prarabda. And there is no resistance to Prarabda. Resistance to Prarabda is also a lakshana of samsara. Anywhere we resist what has already happened, what we don't have in control, is samsara. So in other words, anybody else's action with whom we don't have any control, on whom we don't have any control, if we try to resist that, or if we try to say, when we say resist, not by advising or not, if we feel unhappy because of that, mentally if we are disturbed because of that, then it is samsara. That resistance to prarabdha is samsara. As I said in last class, there are always two types of dukkham. One, that is the dukkham that is given by the body, that is one thing. But then the dukkham that we create in our mind is the second one. The second one is samsara. When we, as I said, suppose I am having a stomachache or I am having a headache. I am having a headache that is giving me pain. That is one type of dukkham. But the moment I get this pain, I get restless. I am actually getting angry because of that. I am getting irritated because of that. All those things are all the second type of dukkham. That is called as samsara. Whereas for a jnani, he does not have any he believes in what is Aagatham, he will Swagatham that. He will not feel compelled to change things. As I said, there are multiple stories in Puranas for this. One of the stories is, there was once a jnani who was sitting beneath a tree in the forest. And an angel, or what we can say, a devata who was passing by. That devata saw the jnani, and then the devata appeared before the jnani in pratyaksha form, and then said, "You are a jnani, and hence I am willing to give you a boon. You ask me what varam you want, whatever boon you want, ask me." The jnani said, "I do not need anything. I am contented. Thank you, but you can go." But the devata was adamant. The devata said, "I have appeared before you. I have shown my form to you, and it is my thing that if I actually show my form to anybody, I will have to give them a boon. So this is the rule that I follow. This is the principle that we have. So you will, for your sake, for my sake at least ask. So the Jnani said, okay, for your sake I am asking. I have a wound. I have got hurt myself. I have hurt myself, my leg. On my right leg there is a wound. Now what you do is you move this wound from the right leg to the left leg. That is what the Jnani wished for. The moral of the story is that the Jnani does not want something to go or something to come. He is perfectly happy the way it is. There is no condition in the mind for the Jnani that this must happen, only then I will be happy. Or this should not happen, only then I will be happy. What we must remember that in this world, if something has happened, it means Ishvara has allowed it. The whole thing is managed by Ishvara. If we believe in Ishvara, then whatever that has happened in this world so far has all happened with Ishvara's blessings or with Ishvara's knowledge. And therefore, who are we to say that this should not happen? So therefore, a Jnani will not show any resistance by even asking, why did this happen? Or why didn't this happen? Or why did this happen in this manner? That is what is being should be understood here. He does not have anything to gain by doing any action. He does not have any gain, or he does not gain anything by not doing any action. He will just go by Prarabda. His intellect, his body, the lifespan given to the body, everything, he will be contented with that. He will not feel, oh, I need to be more intelligent than that person, or I should live long. There will be no sort of craving or desire. So a Jnani's mindset is one where he will neither wish to live one day extra than what has been given to him, nor does he want to die early also. Some people have this feeling, I want to die early, I don't want to go through this pain of the body. A Jnani will not escape from that also, nor will he ask for any extension. He will neither have a liking for death, nor have a liking for living. When people are in deep pain, they always want to die early. So if they are in deep pain, they will say, I wish I am dying today. I don't want to go through this pain. But once the pain subsides, what happens? The same person wants to live longer. They want to extend their life. A Jnani does not have any conditions. When things are comfortable, or even when things are uncomfortable, there is no binding for the Jnani. Whereas typically for us, we always have a lot of conditions. Right from the morning, we say we want our coffee to be in a particular temperature with particular level of sugar. Right from that time until the time to this time we sleep, we want that particular pillow, that particular bed sheet or whatever, and that particular mattress. We have so many conditions for us. And just the beginning and the end, within the day we have so many conditions. This person should not come and talk to me. I should not meet this person. That person should behave to me in that manner. That person should not ignore me. While traveling, I should be able to get a seat. I should not be going standing. My boss should appreciate me. Everything. Or when I post something, I should have so many likes. When things don't go our way, we get dukkham. A Jnani is not bound by this. So on what is he bound on? He works based on Prarabda. Prarbdaaya Samarpitam Swa Vapuhu. They say he will accept whatever the Prarabdha will give him. We try to avoid certain duties because they are difficult or because they are not appreciated. So we do not want to do, or because they take too much of our time. Those are, so what is the takeaway for us? We cannot be like Jnani taking everything as Prarabdha, but we should move in that direction. So we should not try to avoid certain duties just because they are difficult, just because they are not appreciated, or just because it takes time. Neither are we supposed to take up on something which is not our duty also. To escape from doing our duty, we pick up other things as well sometimes. We should not do that. Whatever is our duty, we should accept it. Whatever life has to offer, the first thing we have to do is first accept the past. If we are able to accept the past itself, a lot of our problems are gone. The problem for us is we live in the past, we show resistance to the past, and therefore that is samsara. And that means we are not accepting Ishvara's order. Because whatever has happened in the past has happened with the full knowledge and full blessings of Ishvara. Then we do not think that Ishvara has done the right thing. We question Ishvara. A Sampradaya Guru asks, why is there no duty for a Jnani? For us, we have to do our duties. Whereas for a Jnani, we say there is no duty for a Jnani. So in the last sloka, it says, Tasya karyam na vidyate. And this Sampradaya Guru gives a step-by-step, he questions and then answers them himself, and thereby concluding that the Jnani does not have any duty at all. So he will say, why should a Jnani have a duty? And then he will question himself, and then he will provide the answer why that is not valid for a Jnani, and then therefore thereby concluding that a Jnani does not have any duty at all. Before I go there, Venugopalji, you raised your hand.
Yes, actually, if I may ask, like the thing that everything that happens in this life and the world happens with the blessings of the Ishvara that...
when I say blessings, I am saying with Ishvara's knowledge. Okay.
Knowledge, Ishvara's knowledge. And and one needs to do one's duty and not kind of go to anything else, just accept the past and move on kind of thing. This is the kind of gist I am getting from you now. But I find it extremely difficult to accept the injustices that are happening. Like a lot of things are happening, and my personal story as well. Like the thing is, we cannot really accept any of these injustice, and I do not for a moment think that like any benevolent force would have its kind of positive knowledge. I mean, it happens with the acceptance of or the permission or the allowance of such a benevolent force. Such things can happen, like the atrocities just to connect more readily with all, I would say, like for example, the Nirbhaya case of Delhi, or such atrocities, such things that happened in Calcutta recently, some certain things, and my daughter died taking COVID vaccine. So many things have happened actually, and they are kind of like these atrocities are unleashed, and the people who did it are still in positions of power, and they will do more. And how do we even reconcile to these things? Like, I'm going through the motions of taking a judicial process. It's painfully slow. There are so many obstacles, but still one is bound to do it. Actually, I see that as my duty and not what otherwise so-called what shall I say, duty enjoined to me by life. Now this has become the duty kind of a thing partially. So how do we kind of reconcile that these are all happening with Ishvara's knowledge and his silent permission?
Okay. maybe I'll split it into two parts into your question. One or maybe three. Why is this? How is this happening? Why can't I? Why? How is Ishvara allowing this injustice? One. Number two. If this is happening, how is that these people are continuing to live the life that they are doing, and they are continuing to do these activities? They are allowed this freedom. The third is, does it mean, or should I actually, is this now my duty or not to actually go and take action or go to the court or whatever you're doing right now? So the first one, these injustice, the world has always been like this. It is a mixture of good and bad. That is how the world is. Now, why is it made that way? The world is like that. The world is it's always a pairs of opposites. If you go to is
it because we have been kind of trained and told that it will be like that? You just mind your business and go and
no.
You look after your own liberation, your own things, like let people suffer kind of a thing.
So everybody goes through suffering, and this is not only here now. This kind of injustice has been going on from the time of creation, it's not happening only in Kali Yuga. Even during Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga and even Satya Yuga, there had been always these problems.
I'm asking, is it because we have normalized selfishness?
No.
Normalized selfishness, and we are kind of telling people, okay, it happens, so if it happens, like you kind of, it happens, that's the nature. So as long as it doesn't happen to you, just live kind of a thing. So have we normalized this? So till it hits you, we just don't look at it.
No. That is what we are all doing. Okay. So sorry to ask you this one, but until the time that something hits us, we don't act on it. Correct?
Yes.
So yes, everybody is selfish.
So
the thing is, there had been so many deaths for so many reasons, for other vaccines and other things as well. So many years for it's been going on, but nobody will pick on that until it hits themselves, right? Until it comes to them personally.
Correct.
So this is this you have to accept it. First you have to understand that we are not fighting for justice, we are fighting for our happiness, or for the injustice that has been meted out to me.
There I differ actually, because once it has hit us, now the eyes are opened. Like we see the selfishness as a cause.
No, but due respects, Venugopal ji, the selfishness is there. We have seen people have behaving, or we at least have known through the newspapers or through the television channels that there had been so many cases of things that so many injustices that has happened or that is happening in this world. We do not act on them. We do not cry for them. We do not weep for them. We do not feel deep sorrow for them. After reading the newspaper, we will only look for the next coffee. This is how we are all there. So we have to understand that what we are doing right now is that, okay, it has come to my... So as we say, everything is time and space. If something happens close, if something happens in Australia, I am not at all impacted. If it happens in my country, in my city, I am more impacted. If it happens in my street, I am even more impacted. If it happens in my house, it becomes even more impactful. So it's space, then the time. What happened today, 10 years down the line, or what happened 20 years back is no more an issue today. We have gone past it. So time and space are the levelers, or not. I wouldn't call them levelers, but it is the one that will help us to actually forget the things. And the thing that we are looking for is, we think we are acting against injustice. No, we are acting against the injustice because that injustice has happened to me. Okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't be concerned about these injustices at all. But why would I want something to happen to me only then for my for the justice inside me, for me to fight against injustice. So this, we have to understand that we are all selfish people. The people who are acting for selfish reason is doing it for the sake of money. Everybody would only act upon something only if they are getting affected. This is the natural how people are, or how human beings are. Human beings are always selfish. Now the second thing is, how could they actually continue to do these things? And Ishvara seems to be closing his eyes towards it. He doesn't seem to be totally concerned about it at all. No, that's not true. We don't even know, because we do not consider this is the only life. There are other lives. There are problems that each person will go through. We do not from our limited vision of 20, 30 years and or even less for that matter, we think that the other person is happy or the other person is going through sorrow or anything. We do not know. For that matter, even in this life, the family that we consider themselves to be our family, in the last life there were some other who was our parents, who were our spouse, who was our spouse, who were our children. That family is different, this family is different. In the next life, probably we will have different children, different parents, different set of parents, different set of children. So we are only looking at it from this point of view. For here, as of now, we think there has been injustice that has been meted out, and then the person who is actually doing the injustice continues to seem to be enjoying his life, doesn't seem to be affected by it. The fact is, karma will come back, karma will hit. There will be no other way, no person would be able to escape karma. So this is second. Third is whether this is your duty, whether you should actually be moving on, not thinking of doing anything for this. I am not saying that. If there is a reason for you to fight for general well-being for others as a selfless being, because you are affected, you don't want others to get impacted, and therefore whatever you are doing is actually a selfless cause, therefore in my view, or even in Shastra's view, it is not to be seen down upon. It is still seen to be a selfless action. It is something that will gain, in Shastric words, you will gain some punya for you, and what you are doing is for the well-being of the society, and therefore what you do, you can continue to do. You need not. The only thing that Shastras say is, do not sit in sorrow. Do not take that as a sorrow. Whatever you are doing it for the others, for the sake of others. If you try to actually say, I can get personal satisfaction only if I am able to get them to answer for what they have done, then it becomes very difficult. If I take that whatever I am doing as actually something for the sake of the society that I am doing and not for my personal interest, then it is well and good. It is karma yogi.
Thank you for the explanations, and I don't want to take more time on this. More or less, we have covered the points. Thank you.
Thank you. So, in terms of this, for now, a Jnani, how does he not have any duty at all? The first question that will come to us is, at least for the sake of maintaining this body, Sharira Rakshanartham, I should do some work, right? The answer for that, the Sampradaya Guru says, no, he has submitted to Prarabda. Prarabda-adhinam. He does not have any duty. Even Prarabda, he will let the Prarabda take care of the body. When we come to this world, the body that is given to us is for a certain period, and that is decided by Prarabda. It could be any number of years. The Ishvara has given the body a lifetime. Then, according to the Jnani, then would he not have the necessary food to maintain the body until that time? Ishvara will make it available to me until that time. So, if Ishvara had given a lifetime of, say, 40 years for somebody, no need to panic, I'm just saying, so 40 years, then even if the person had collected wealth for 4 generations, even if he has collected articles that could last 400 years, nothing would be of any use to prolong the life even for one more day. This is how Prarabdha works. Prarabdha will take care of the food, basic necessities, food, clothing, shelter, security, situations for the entire lifetime. That is decided by Prarabdha. If we understand this, we will not have this anxiety. What will happen to me in the future? Will I get food? Will I have a house? That fear is always there. That bhayam is there with us because we do not totally believe in Ishvara's Prarabdha or Ishvara's karma. The problem for us is our intellect is such that we think that at times Ishvara may not be that intelligent or maybe that benevolent that he will take care of us. Whereas for a Jnani will not have any fear. He has this conviction that if I am going to stay alive for so many days, Ishvara will make sure this body will get some food from somewhere to keep this body alive. It may not be the food that our taste buds require. It may be just the food that the body requires for it to keep itself alive. Because a Jnani believes in Prarabdha, he does not perform any duty to keep his body alive. If we are not leaving things to Prarabdha, what happens typically? We allow our choices or we exercise our choice. So which means I do not want this food, I want that food. I do not want this clothing, I want that clothing. I do not want to live in this house, I want to live in that house. So we exercise our choice, we do not allow Prarabdha to decide it. But whereas for a Jnani, whatever is given to him, he accepts it. He accepts whatever he gets. He does not have any preference or ask for anything special. Okay, that is for first thing. So at least for maintaining the body, will he not do any action? No. Then what about parigraha rakshanartham karma? Does he not have a duty to maintain the things around him? Say I have got certain things, to maintain those things I will have to act. Now again, this can be answered in two ways. If the Jnani is a sannyasi, there is no parigraha from him. A sannyasi is not supposed to accumulate or collect anything. There has to be nothing in this person's name. So if he is a sannyasi, there is no parigraha. If he is not a sannyasi, if he is a grahastha, then Bhagavan had already said, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. He will say that in chapter 9, which also comes in Vishnu Sahasranam. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham means Bhagavan will take care of both yoga as well as kshema. Yoga means to accumulate or to collect. Kshema means to safeguard whatever you have accumulated. So whatever you need for your living, whatever you have to acquire, Bhagavan will take care of that acquisition. Whatever you need to take care in terms of retention, Bhagavan will also take care of that. So even for that, from that aspect, the aspect of actually any action that you may need to perform for maintaining things around him, there is none. A Jnani will leave that also to Ishvara. So it will be Ishvara Adhinam. So first is Prarabdha Adhinam, next is Ishvara Adhinam. Third question is Vilasartham. Vilasartham means for the sake of entertainment. Vilasam means play. Does he not need to do something for example, we want to actually go to a restaurant to eat food, good food, or eat out someplace. That means for entertainment. Whereas for a Jnani, Bhagavan had already said, Bhagavan Atmaratihi. He revels in himself. He does not need any entertainment. Only we have this compelling need that we need to be entertained, especially when we are being alone. When we are alone, we want company. Otherwise, it becomes, we feel insecure or we get bored. A Jnani does not get bored at all at any time. For us, we need to have at least a gadget. Otherwise, we will feel bored. Previously, it used to be books. Now, at least a gadget. Now, even with all these gadgets and all these social things, even with all these things, nowadays people, even with all people around, they feel they are alone. They feel they are lonely. They feel they have been isolated. That is the problem that we go through. Whereas for a Jnani, whether he is with people, without people, he will not feel bored. He will not feel lonely. He will not seek entertainment. And what is the meaning of bored? Being bored means I am not able to tolerate myself. I am not happy with my own company. So if at all there is a boring person, it is me myself, because I am not able to tolerate myself. A Jnani revels in himself. He does not have any vilasartham. So a Jnani does not have a duty to maintain his body. A Jnani does not have duty or does not do any actions, need not do any actions for the things around him, nor does he need any entertainment. Now the fourth question, this Sampradaya Guru asks, what about Swargartham? Does he need to perform any activity for going to Swargaloka, to heaven? A Jnani does not desire for Swarga. He has got, you remember the Shrotavyasya Shrutavyasya cha, Nirvedam on Shrotasya Shrutavyasya cha. He has got Vairagya on both that is seen or heard or experienced and that is yet to be experienced, which includes Swargaloka, which has not been experienced by this body. So he has Vairagya on those as well. So on all lokas he has Vairagya. You remember that 252, I think. Yadate mohakalilam buddhir vyatita rishyati tada gantasi nirvedam srotavyasya srutasya cha. There, in Jnani, how do we identify whether you have done your karma yoga properly? We say that Vivekam and Vairagyam are the lingas, are the identification, and Vairagyam is Nirvedam. Nirvedam on Shrotavyasya, Srutasya cha, on things that have not been experienced and things that have been experienced. So even for Swargartham, he will not do any activity. Now finally, fifth one is Moksharth. Does he need to perform any activity for moksha? For moksha cannot be attained by any action. We have to be very clear. Just by doing any action, by doing pujas, I will not get moksha. By doing service to the humanity, I will not get moksha. By doing yajnas, I will not get any moksha. By even meditating, I will not get any moksha. Because meditation also can be an action. That's why Upanishad says, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyagena eke amrtatva manashaku. Moksha cannot be attained through action, through people. Na karmana na prajaya, through people. Dhanena, through money. There is no direct connection between moksha and action. All these actions are necessary. Which one? Service for humanity. Pujas, yajnas are all necessary for chitta shuddhi. They are all necessary for chitta shuddhi, not for moksha. And why does a jnani need to work for moksha? He's already got chitta shuddhi, he's already got moksha, and therefore he does not need to perform any action. Then finally, parartham. Does he need to perform any activity for getting others released from bondage? This is the typical question that many people will have. Is a jnani being selfish? Once he is actually getting liberated, does he not need to help others? Should he not help others to come out of the samsara? The answer is, he having got liberation, he does not have any responsibility of releasing others from bondage. Why? This can be multiple answers. One straight answer is, remember we are talking about Advaitam. As far as a jnani is concerned, there is no second person. For him, everything is Brahman. So there is no second person. If the jnani thinks, I have been liberated, others are in samsara, that means he already sees Bedam. That means he is still in samsara. When the jnani gets liberated, he gets to a stage where there is no second thing. Dvaita abhavat. Because there is no second person, there is no compulsion or duty for him to do to others. When can others come into the picture? Only as long as I think there is another person. But what does Advaita say? The jnana establishes Advaitam in him, and therefore he does not need to act for others. As far as he is concerned, there are no others. We will see, this is very, it is a higher level of thinking. We will see them in detail in the coming sloka, in the coming chapters. There is a sloka which goes like this. Jnana amrtena triptasya kritakrityasya yoginah naiva asti kinchit kartavyam asti chet nacha tattvavit. Jnanena amrtena triptasya kritakrityasya yoginah. One who had got contented, tripti, through the nectar, amritam, of self-knowledge. Jnana amrtena triptasya. One who has got contented through the amritam of self-knowledge. Krita krityasya yoginah. That yogi who has performed all that needs to be performed. Krita krityasya. Naiva asti kinchit kartavyam. He does not have any duty. He does not have any kartavyam at all. Not even one or two. Kinchit. Asti chet nacha tattvavit. If that is the case, if that is not the case, that he thinks that he still has to do something more, that's just one more thing that I need to do. I'm already a jnani, but there is only one more thing that I need to do. If he thinks that way, then nacha tattvavit. He is not a tattvavit. He is not a person who has understood tattva. That is what Shastras say. So, in these two slokas, Bhagavan has described jnani's mindset. A person who has attained this mindset, a person who has attained moksha, he does not need to perform karma yoga. Karma yoga is not relevant. There are no duties for him. But until that time, every one of us must perform duties. That is what Bhagavan wants to say here. Now he is going to say that in the next sloka. In the next sloka, sloka 19, he is going to conclude that. So we'll go to sloka number 19. Tasmad asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushah. Tasmad asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushah. So, as I said in the previous slokas, Bhagavan said there is no requirement for a jnani to perform karma yoga or duties. How do you identify a jnani? Atmatrati, atmatriptascha, atmasantushta. Now in this sloka, Bhagavan is concluding, he is saying, after saying this, a jnani does not need to perform any action, a jnani does not need to do any karma yoga, and he concludes, therefore Arjuna, you perform your duty. So he is saying, after saying all these things, he says, Bhagavan says to Arjuna, therefore Arjuna, you perform your duty. What is the meaning of this? It is like someone saying, I am inviting some intellectuals for discussion in my house. Therefore, you do not come. It means you are not eligible. In the same way, Bhagavan is saying, Arjuna, there is no need to perform duties for a person who has attained this mindset. Therefore, you must perform your duties. Which means Bhagavan says, Arjuna, you do not qualify. You do not have this mindset. How does Bhagavan know that Arjuna does not have this mindset? Because if Arjuna was in this, already had this mindset, he would not have been crying. So, Bhagavan is concluding here. He says, Tasmat. Tasmat, there, Tasmat means therefore. Therefore, to what? What must be supplied here? The mindset described in the last slokas are attained. Only then the duties are given up, can be given up. And only a person who has attained moksha can discard the duties. And if a person has not attained moksha, he cannot give up his duties. Therefore, asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. Therefore, you must perform your duty. Asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. We will go backwards. Samachara. Samachara means perform well. Achara means perform. Samachara means perform well. What should be performed well? Karma samachara. Action must be performed well. Perform action well. All are actions only. Arjuna, for him, running away from the battlefield is also an action. It is not that fighting the war is also an action, running away is also an action. Which action must be performed? So Bhagavan says, karma samachara. Karyam karma samachara. Karyam karma samachara means perform actions that must be done. So karyam karma means actions that must be performed, you perform that. Now the question is, when this action must be performed? Should I perform only when I feel like doing it? My duties only when I feel like doing it? Bhagavan says, Satatam karyam karma samachara. Satatam means always. Always you cannot give up your duties. Always perform the action that needs to be done. Now, how should I always perform this action? With what attitude I should do this? How should I perform these actions? Asakta satatam karyam karma samachara. Always perform these actions to be done without any attachment. So Bhagavan is basically giving 3 qualifiers for this action. 1, asaktaha. Asaktaha means without any attachment. What do we mean by attachment? I should not have any likes and dislikes on my duties that I need to perform, nor I should have any kind of likes and dislikes over the results that are coming out. I should not get joyful or sorrowful depending on the result. because it is my duty. I will have to perform it properly. Karyam. Second one is karyam. Do what you are supposed to do. That is karyam karma. Asakta karma, karyam karma, samachara karma. Perform that action well, not with any kind of disinterest. Do it with full commitment. That is how Bhagavan says. Again, question will come, how do you perform an action without any attachment? How do you, especially people say, there will be no passion in me until I know what the result that I am looking for. Unless I have an attachment on the results, where will be the passion come from? Where will the motivation come from? The motivation should come from the fact that we are performing it for Ishvara. The motivation should come, sir, that performing itself is an action, is the result. That the fact that I am able to perform itself is the result. I should take it that way. The example is again the example that I gave in the last class. A singer performing, there are two types of singers. Singers who perform for sake of getting claps and appreciation from the audience. That is where you are betting on the result. You want the result, you are having an attachment on the result. Now there are also certain singers who, while singing, they take pleasure in singing itself. They do not wait for the appreciation at the end of the concert. Even while singing, they take the pleasure, like our bathroom singing. So that is how we must perform our actions. Even while performing the action itself, we should take the pleasure of performing action. And as we mature, what will happen is we get satisfaction just by knowing or understanding that we are performing our duties properly. That satisfaction itself will give us enormous amount of happiness. So if we keep doing these actions with these qualifiers, what happens? Asaktaha hi acharan karma. Asakto hyacharan karma means asaktaha hi acharan karma parama apnoti purushaha. Asakta hi, for without attachment, acharan karma, if only by or one for performing action without any attachment, purushaha means a person, in this case a karma yogi, apnoti param, he attains. Apnoti means attains. Attains what? Param. Attains the supreme. Attains moksha. So karma yoga leads to jnana yoga. How does karma yoga means? Karma yoga means performing your duties, what you are supposed to do. Asakta satatam karyam karma. So performing what you are supposed to do without any attachment, performing it diligently without any kind of shortcuts. By doing that, a person attains the supreme. Now, when we say attains the supreme, does it mean when we say moksha, param, there is always this paramapadam, they say. Paramapadam is, some people think that it is in Vaikunta. So does it mean that the person will die, will leave the body by doing these actions properly? No. We should remember the Sloka 17 and 18, just the two other Slokas. By doing this, the person will get qualified for Jnana Yoga, and once he gets the Jnana, he will become Atmaratihi, Atmatriptaha, Atmasantushtaha. He will attain that mindset. When he thinks of himself, he is happy. When he is contented in oneself, he is contented with all the things that he is dealing with. He does not have any problem with anybody. He does not have any craving or want of anything. So, nachasya sarvabhuteshu kaschid artha vyapashrayah. In this world, he has got nothing to gain. Nothing to gain due to action, nothing to gain due to inaction also. And he will not have any dependence on anybody for anything. That is where this person will go. By doing what? By performing actions without any attachment, by performing actions diligently, by performing the duties that are assigned to him. There could be always others that could be advising, this karma yoga will not give you anything. If you perform this karma yoga, especially you are talking only about duties and not attached to the results and others, you will continue to live in the same old house. You will continue to remain poor. You will not be able to enjoy pleasures of life. Only by doing other actions you will be able to get into a bigger house, have a more comfortable lifestyle and all those things. The problem is, once you start going outside of karma yoga, once we start doing all these karmas that are driven by passion, that are driven by our desires, sooner or later the desires will take over and will also blur the distinction between dharma and adharma. And therefore what will happen is, the rooms might get bigger, but the mind will become smaller. The rooms might become brighter, but the minds will become darker. There could be more comfort, but there will be more sorrow and pain. Remember, not everybody who are living comfortable are happy. Every person can also be comfortably unhappy also. So Bhagavan says here, one without performing karma yoga, one will not come to moksha. He will not get moksha. And the benefit of karma yoga we cannot say, okay, by doing karma yoga, okay, I'm going to get money, I'm going to get comfort, I'm going to get power, position. You may not get that. But you will get back your mind, you will get back happiness, you will get back satisfaction. Bhagavan says, param apnoti. You will get moksha. This is what Bhagavan says. Now, Sloka 20, Bhagavan gets into another topic which we will see in the next class. Any questions or comments? If not, we will see again in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.